Yeah, I don't know. I do gang signs and stuff, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Work on that, man. I don't know what's wrong with your brain.
Hey, white boy! Where you from, homie?
I'm West Side Beverly Hills Killers. My parents own these streets, literally.
All right, then, homie, respeto.
Oh. But I don't know. I like to mix it up, and I do this one, and I do one of these, and I do the.
You had the most fun today.
I think I had a lot of fun today.
Yeah. You had a chance to take this out for some demo laps, but this was actually what you were competing in today. This is your S13.
Yeah.
There's not much S13 left.
Yeah, she's special. I love that car. I love it. It makes you realize how bad every other car is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's all right.
Poor car.
That's why it's just done in bits of aluminium and stuff. If that was carbon, I ain't got carbon money.
So, how was this to drive? Because for LZ World Tour, you guys actually have to drive on regulation tires, huh?
Yeah. I had a couple of brands of tires. We were going to use one brand, which I had the most of, and then in the rain, that was so bad. So I went borrowing tires, and then we just kind of hit a sweet spot with a pair of tires, but then we ran out of them. And then I popped on another brand, and that's what DB did on the run that I lost. Just switching brand, it didn't stay on the wheel. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It all happened so quick. Maybe you have a picture of the wheel off?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it was insane. So you hit a patch of earth, and you scooped up so much dirt that you actually had a chance to stop.
Yeah.
And then the dirt was still falling down from the sky.
Insert shot of the wheel over there.
Exactly.
This,
Insert shot of the wheel. So yeah, the dirt shower was crazy. There's just so many things on this S chassis that wouldn't make regulation in any drift series.
Probably, it's legal for Ireland, like.
Really?
But I do the rules for Ireland, so.
Out of here, man.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I do the rules. But at the same time, we like to make the rules lax. I mean, it just makes the cars individual. It's not a performance advantage in any way, you know?
Right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the engine. This thing sounds so insane. It sounds different.
It's the same engine as we used to use in FD.
It's the same engine as what you had in the Saturn Sky.
Correct, yeah. But it has a 180-degree crossover manifold in it. So it's kind of like an 8-to-1 or halfway to an 8-to-1. You know the 8-to-1 rasp that you get from a V8?
Yeah.
So it makes it different than the two 4-to-1s. We have a couple of other things done, flywheel-wise and all that makes it rev faster and nicer. And we did a few tricks, but it is exactly the same. It is the spare motor from the Sky, actually.
Wait a minute.
Let me explain. So you got two from this bank and two from this bank go into one collector. And then the remaining two go into the other collector. So it's a 180 crossover. So it crosses the banks.
And it sounds kind of similar to something that would be an 8-to-1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's similar to that.
But then why did you do two individual ones?
It was for the sound. But the 8-to-1 is horrible to package, you know, you end up with, no, this is not very nice to package either. But I wanted something different, and I didn't want an exhaust running under the car because in these small blocks you melt plug leads a lot and stuff, so all that was like that. And just different as well, you know, just totally different.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, it's different.
And on top of that, what's crazy about it is, I guess you could kind of keep the sound in check.
Yeah, no, we have two larger silencers as well, and it actually goes quite quiet. It passes everywhere. So we just kind of start with the straight pipes until they tell us to calm it down, and then we have the small silencer and then a medium silencer, and it's sweet. So.
And there's so much room for it, and it's so crazy to me that it's all just in this area.
It's a little vulnerable when I go hitting people the whole time.
Like today?
Every day. Every day.
Every day you get behind the wheel.
It's just so nice to have fun, you know. I feel a little bit like you can go out here and just express yourself, and it's not about winning, and you just put on a show, and you know, it's about the brand and having fun and meeting the fans and stuff. There's no pressure, nothing. The weather puts you under pressure more than anything else, you know, so it's nice to go out, touch some doors, knock off some bumpers. That's what it's all about, you know. It's when you do so much drifting as I've done, you know, battles are battles and it gets the same, but if you could hit people, touch people, leave tire marks, that's cool, you know. That is cool.
What's also interesting is the hood design that you guys, did you guys do this? Because the headlights that aren't actually headlights, it comes up from the bumper.
Yeah, it takes the fender
altogether.
as well. It takes the corner of the fender with it and the side light. Again, something different. It gives you mega access to the car, but it's just a gimmick and something I've never seen done, so we made it happen, made it do it. It looks really weird with just the bumper across here, but the next evolution of this car will be more conventional.
What blows me away is that there's not tubes coming out of here.
No, it's just floating.
It's so neat looking in that this is, the bumper is attached just to the chassis mounting point right here.
Yeah. It's just floating, so we wanted to leave it totally open at the top.
All the core, everything, all that stuff was cut out.
Yeah. So, yeah, we took the whole lot. So, again, it's just, trying to make it different to what anyone's done.
And then similar to what you had in the Audi.
Yeah, power steering
This
pump.
is a GM power steering?
Correct. So originally it had a Toyota power steering pump mounted underneath in the tunnel and a reservoir up here, but we've since switched to all these type of pumps, which is a slightly bulkier, so we put it out here as a test and we just never moved it. It's actually in the perfect spot for weight distribution and stuff with it. The exhaust makes the left front a little bit heavier,
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
I'm surprised you don't suck in that much water with a K&N air filter.
But that's what the sock is for, it's kind of water
It's
repellent.
flapping around. That must be distracting when you're driving. I just see it move so
You
much.
don't get distracted. You've got a lot of things to do.
Right.
Last thing on your mind.
So then, did you have a chance to dyno this?
Yeah. On the dyno we use, it's just under 700. Now the 180-degree headers are sapping some power. They're better for mid-range. We actually will be going 4-to-1 more conventional soon, and we'll be redesigning this more traditional, and the exhaust will be coming out here so that I don't keep breaking the exhaust when I hit people the whole time. But I'll actually bring one out here, so that when I'm on people's door, I'm deafening them no matter which way I'm drifting. Whereas right now, I only deafen them with one side. So I wanted to burn the stickers off of people's doors and stuff. I thought it'd be cool, just to burn their wrap off or something. It just would be different.
It just sounds so different compared to anything I've ever
It's beautiful.
heard.
The throttle response is
so
like,
good.
Yeah, it's like
So then, what is this cooler for?
that's the oil cooler.
Okay, that's the
one oil
only
cooler.
thing that's in the front.
Yeah, and then the bumper only takes air in for the oil cooler. The rest of it is totally closed off. So this is it. We do that because it's belt driven from the crank to the cam, and you got the dry sump pump and the belt. We don't want any stones in, so we block the whole thing. People dropping wheels and stuff like that. So you can't get any air in the front, only to the cooler.
Got it. Can we take a look at the back?
Yeah.
This is a lot of crazy business going on in the back. Geez, you guys really have your work cut out for you in terms of cleaning this.
Yeah.
And
Look at the oil. We should have mopped
prepping
up the oil.
and prepping this.
So depending on how much limiter I give it, it likes to breathe. I'm meant to do a breather system over here so that it actually travel and stop doing this, but I'm meant to do a lot of things, but we just mop it up.
So, is this the actual radiator setup back here?
Yeah, 2 radiators. So they're actually 2 Honda Civic Mishimoto radiators. And I mounted them in a V, and then we put the fan on each side. So it's like a dual pass, but it's dual pass because it's 2 radiators. So I always wanted to V-mount them because it makes sense with the angle you're at. One will get the direct shot of air. And it made sense here because I used to run a really big dual pass rad, and then when we put the Nuke fuel tank in it, I couldn't run the rad without it sticking out through the car, and I didn't like that. It would have ruined my shark fin. So I came up with this, and it's cool as shit.
It's so
And
different.
it works better than the big radiator. It only brings on 1 fan now. It doesn't even use the second stage fan so it worked perfectly.
It's so crazy because you would think it's not as efficient because they're tiny, but it's 2 of them.
It's more efficient. So it passes out. It passes through the top and over into the other one.
Oh, that's where they're connected.
Yeah,
I
they're
see.
connected here. So it comes in on the bottom on this side, and it has to go through up the top, comes in the top and goes out the bottom on this side. And you have the electric water pump over here, so we don't run any belt-driven water pump or anything. All that V8 stuff is really crude to me, and it's like V-belts and stuff, not even rib belts, So we just delete everything off the front of the engine, keep it really simple.
You
And
love
yeah.
your wings too. Look at this thing.
I do love my spoilers, like. But the Quattro did that to me. I mean, it's so cool. And then I always wanted to run 2 GT wings. And then this is the same shape as the Quattro on the side, the end plate. And then we did the, I always wanted a shark fin as well, because you know the way, like FD and all that, they have end plate dimensions and vertical mount dimensions and all that, which, you know, once you don't have any of that, I'm like, oh, shark fin, and the smoke will get caught here before it has to envelop over the top in a low pressure area here, and you just fog the guy behind you.
Really?
It just looks so cool. That's the whole cut. I know this side is in now, but that's the whole point of the cut with, like, I think Porsche 9.
It does look weird when you get fully sideways.
Yeah.
You move the smoke in a different way.
Right.
It is so cool. It's so weird that it affects that. I mean, part of it also is, I'm assuming that it's probably helping you a little bit when you get full angle.
Yeah, it's
for
difficult.
it to kind of straighten you back out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's difficult. An air brake, like as such.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's difficult to say. We've never taken it off. I'm not going to take it off. I think it's cool as shit. And the Group D logo kind of transfers up onto it, and as the car passes you, it all lines up and makes sense. I like it, but yeah, it could be for and against. It could be hindering you as well, you know, entering hard if it's an air brake and stuff, but it's just got to look cool. It's got to be different, you know?
Yeah. Love the tinted windows.
Yeah, yellow tinted windows.
All business in here.
Yeah, all business. I mean,
So this is like a firewall
yeah, that's your
for the
firewall.
back.
It's getting pretty old now. Getting pretty dirty, pretty old. It's been together a long time. You have fuel lines, and we don't have any regs with running them inside the car. So, I mean, there's for and against that. If it's built properly, I mean, these are probably thousands and thousands of PSI. There's going to be nothing to go wrong. But whatever. This coolant, oil and coolant, and then some dry sump lines, and then you have the fuel going up through here. Haltech ECU and electronics. This is a electronic vacuum for the brakes.
Oh,
Yeah, so I still run a vacuum reservoir on the brakes, you know, like power brakes.
yes.
Because the cars have GTR brakes in them.
Okay.
And if you go with non-vacuum assisted, you just have a rock hard pedal and really bad retardation, you know. So I don't think you need mega brakes for drifting. The runs are not very long. So then we use the servo and we use a vacuum pump. It sounds horrible, listen. There's a little vacuum pump, and it's triggered by the TPS sensor, throttle position sensor.
That is so
We can leave the
interesting.
car idle and it's not running, and then by the time I drive and I do the burnout box, I've got fully charged vacuum brakes when I run. So it comes on with a certain throttle percentage.
Got it.
And we do this actually the same with the Quattro, because we take a vacuum from the inlet manifold, but when the anti-lag is switched on, it loses its vacuum. So when the anti-lag is switched on, the vacuum pump clicks in, and we have electronic vacuum in the Quattro with the anti-lag.
That's so smart.
It's different.
And then this is actually a molded foam seat to your
Yeah,
body?
this is what my ass looks like.
Why do you do that?
I tried this seat because it was the right weight that I wanted for the balance of the car, you know? So we needed to drop some weight, and it's just a shell with some pads. It's actually too big for me. So when we just tried this out as a single-seater foam kit, it was our first time doing it. It looks horrendous, but it fits me like a glove, you know?
Yeah.
You put it in a bag, you sit in it, and you pour 2 in, and they react with each other, and
Got it.
Yeah, it's just foam, like
Okay.
expanding foam kind of thing. But yeah, we meant to do it again, and you're supposed to like cover it in felt or material and glue it.
Yeah.
But it's just whatever. You're too busy with other stuff.
Huh.
This is interesting because I had to put this on
Why?
because I seem to have an awful habit of slamming my clutch foot against the tunnel of a right-hand drive. And I kept going over past the pedal. So this is my right-hand drive tunnel in my left-hand drive, that when I come off the left foot brake, I could just slam over and press it, you know? I kept missing the clutch in the left-hand drive.
So why is this left-hand drive?
This was the car we used to rent. So like Forsberg drove it, Peter Viensick drove it, Dye drove it, Sultan drove it. Loads of people drove it.
But, I mean, how hard would it be for you to convert it to right-hand drive?
It'd be easy, but we've a lot of modifications done, you know? I don't mind left-hand drive. There's
Really?
No difference. Like, it was a bit of a mindfuck, if I can curse. Today, like, I was swapping cars, and same in qualifying. I did one run of this and one run of the Quattro, and then I went from left-hand drive, 4-speed manual, V8 with loads of torque down low to right-hand drive, sequential, with loads of lag and having to pump the clutch and have no torque down low. It was like, okay, I'm actually pretty happy with myself that I pulled off 2 good runs, totally opposites, but I don't miss anything, and I don't miss the handbrake, I don't miss the gear lever, you know. I seem to be able to switch between the two, no problem. And all the clipping points are on the other side, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you come to clip 3, here in the left-hand drive, you can just look down and it's right there, and your wheel just passes by it. And then when you're on the right-hand drive, you're on the outside clip 4, and you can watch how you are in clip 4. But it's strange how just adapt to it and make it work.
When was the last time you actually competed at an event?
Well, I did Drift Masters here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I qualified 9th in that, which I was really happy with, because that's, you know, this is good fun, but that's serious business. So I knew we couldn't touch the top 5 there on their game, the likes of James and the Shanahan's. They're absolutely outstanding, you know. So to qualify 9th, we were totally on the pace and everything. But I crashed this then in the against Dwayne McKeever. Dwayne is unbelievable. Dwayne's pace was crazy, and I could stay with him, but when I dived inside him on turn 1 and I adjusted for, you know, my line not being on the perfect qualifying line when you're kind of inside someone, I just pushed the front and went off into the barrier, you know. So I made a mistake, but I didn't feel out of place or anything. You know, there was no problem. But this doesn't have the power for the current tires in Drift Masters. I need more power for my ability. You know,
Yeah.
It's too tight, and you're just full throttle.
Yeah. Well, it's really good to see you.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
I know.
And we miss you in the U.S. You know, the last time I saw you, you were driving Grid Life.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was just a certain period when a bunch of Irish drivers came over from Ireland to compete in the U.S. Now it's kind of like a resurgence, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Again, James came and then left and then came back.
Yeah, he's back.
You know?
He's back. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see how much of an impact you guys have on drifting. And I'll never forget when I came over last time, I asked you, why is it that there's so many Irish people that are into drifting? And part of it is that you just grow up that way.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you get in a car, you just, whether it be racing on dirt or on tarmac, you're just sideways.
Yeah, or rallying. We have the back roads, the by roads. We do have a great rear-wheel drive culture, you know, with the Mark II S-Cut rallying and all that. That's where it kind of came along, and once we got into the Japanese imports, then being right-hand drive country, it really took off, you know. And the
like
young
cars
people,
like this, that's what really inspired it, huh?
Yeah. I bought a Corolla when I was 16.
Yeah.
You know, red over black. It was the one I brought to
Yes,
SRT,
it was
you know?
one of the first pictures that I got of you in your SR20 powered Corolla, which was super cool.
That was my first road car,
Yeah.
And we went drifting with it.
Well,
No,
awesome.
we've done so much, Larry, haven't we? It's been such a long time, but
It
we've been
has
on some adventures and everything. Great times, like.
Well, good to see you. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.
All right, buddy. See you later.
Boom.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not.
Don't go anywhere.
I thought I was done. You told me there's something cool.
And this is cool. You did the Corolla.
Yeah, I talked to Sultan about the Corolla a little bit. We didn't really get to go too deep into it because he actually had to go line up for top 16.
This is famous Mike Fitz here, look.
But, hey,
Up in the roof.
We should get a picture of all of us in front of them there while they're lined up.
Oh, we're doing that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to get some height or something, like.
I'm lost that way anyway.
what's wrong with you?
Well, this is Ian's car. Ian's part of the team.
Ian likes
Hi.
to watch.
Hi. Once you pull out the camera, he goes shy.
Yeah, I go.
Once you turn off the camera, he's a bit of a. You gotta blank that out.
He's a bit of a, what the heck is going on here?
Professional hairdresser for a living.
Yeah, okay.
He's got a...
Right. He needs to have a little Miata in him.
So
What
Ian used to
the
have
heck?
he used to have an MX-5, like a really nice MX-5.
Uh-huh.
And then you got to take the piss out of him, right? Because it's a Miata, right? So then we did a bash, and we were here at the bash, and he was driving and I was driving. I was like, come on, I'll take you for a passenger ride in the 240. And he went for passenger, and he's like, oh, for God's sake. So then we were like, okay, we got to get out the MX-5 because, yeah, he's a man.
Man up now, man up now.
This was an old customer's E30, and then we put his running gear into it from the MX-5, so engine and gearbox, and it has a Silvia subframe in the back of it.
Of course it does,
It
because
does.
all of the cars you have Silvia subframes.
Well, yeah.
Including that.
I mean, we do a kit that we ship a load to the USA, actually. We do a kit for the Corolla with all the mounts, and you weld it in and the subframe goes in. Because it's difficult to get a straight axle to take power and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So we sell a lot of them. So, yes, it's another Silvia subframe, but it's good, you know. We use what we make.
That is so cool.
But the front is interesting because the suspension is mounted off the cage pretty much, and these are like, we cut the shock towers off and we made our own, which we can do now with the rules because I changed them. Not for this car, not for this car. But we changed them because like it's got a Silvia shock absorber and a Silvia trail knuckle and then a BMW lower control arm. So like it's no advantage to my car in doing this. It's still Silvia pickup points and stuff like that, you know?
Right.
So yeah, we just made it so that you could run some Silvia stuff and modify the body. It just makes, because the old school cars, they're gone really scarce and it's difficult to have them competitive. A Silvia wins all the time, but if we can like replicate the Silvia in such a way, it's not expensive because all the parts are cheap.
Wait, this is an
It's cool.
actual competition car?
Yeah, this is comp car, yeah. This is IDC car. It's on the,
Oh.
yeah.
That is so cool. So then in this configuration, what is this, a 1.8 liter?
1.8, yeah, 444 horsepower.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It made a lot more than we thought it would, yeah.
I'm really surprised.
Yeah. It's on a Garrett like 2860 and it made 444, which is more than I thought that it would make. It should be
Yeah.
out of puff, but it's still going.
Huh.
So it seems to be very efficient for some reason.
What a cool car. And
It's
then
cool.
so it does have a rear radiator setup too then.
Yeah.
Ah.
So typical Group D, it's the rear dual press rad, electric water pump, or that's our aluminium cell, so that's like our non-FIA cell, but we don't need FIA for the Irish Championship. So that's our cell that we do. Little tank, it's got the new cab, it's really nice. And then the cage comes out and the shock towers are modified to, are bolted to the cage, all modified, and the subframe is in there. It's pretty cool. And the interior is quite nice.
S15?
There's an S15 dashboard in it.
Yeah.
Haltech ECU, Haltech IC7 dash, Group D handbrake. Oh, the brakes are inside in the car.
Why? Why?
I'll go over the other side.
Wait, what?
So like the E30 right or left-hand drive has the brakes on the left-hand side in the engine bay. And then in the right-hand drive, they just put a lever on across the back of the bulkhead and they push the brakes. It's horrible like that, it's terrible. But with our engine being so far back, we moved it really far back, and then the manifold was out of the MX-5, prefabricated, turbo, everything was done. We're like, let's just flip the brakes and run them inside the car, and then we flipped the pivot for the bar, and instead it goes backwards instead of forwards, and the brakes mount to the roll cage now, so it
That's
comes
cool.
out and up. It's really cool, it works perfectly.
So did you guys have to do this?
Yeah, so it's really low now there's a 3-inch exhaust in it, so it's really low, so we put an exhaust tunnel in it, and it's just tidy, like, it's just nice. And
What a cool car.
yeah, it's got the dash, it's really cool, yeah. So the dash had to be shortened, Ian did it himself, it had to be shortened, it was too wide, but just an S15 one.
I like this a lot.
This is cool,
I
yeah.
think it's super cool.
It's just, yeah, it's like one of those things when you think it up, it's like, this better
You
work.
were like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, we gotta do this.
Yeah, with the
Wait,
better
so
work.
How is it that the S15 dash is
Because
this? Oh, you cut it.
Yeah, we cut it there.
Oh, you cut it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Flocked it then, just hides it.
Got it.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's pretty cool
All
for
cut and stuff.
it is, yeah.
what a nice build.
Yeah, it's different.
I can't believe this is a comp car.
Yeah, it's comp car, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all fiberglass panels and doors and everything, so it's M3, and we have the M3 C pillar, so it has the right pillar in the back of it. It's got the extra wide MP body kit, or M3 body kit, and the boot door and everything, but I thought you'd like that one. It's different.
That's super cool.
All right, Larry.
Awesome. I think that's the real end of the video.
I love you, Larry.
Love you too. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to support us directly, go to LarryChenPrints.com. I print and sign every single one of these. This is the perfect gift, or it's the perfect piece of art for your wall.